So today, we're going to be finding out who is the better basketball player in the TV series known as One Tree Hill, Lucas Scott or Nathan Scott. So, I know this isn't like one of my typical videos, but I was a big fan of One Tree Hill growing up and recently thought of the question of who is actually better at basketball. Who would win in a third one-on-one game, Lucas or Nathan? Well, today, we're about to find out. So, firstly, I need to set some ground rules. This third game will happen when they were in high school, because it wouldn't be fair if I used a Lucas who hardly ever played anymore versus Nathan who nearly made it into the NBA. Secondly, Lucas's heart condition won't be a factor into it, so he'll be at his best, and the third game will happen at the River Court. So, let's get started. And first off, physicality. Well, both are in great physical shape, but I think it's fair to say Nathan takes his advantage because their dad, Dan Scott, pushed him to his physical limits ever since he was a young boy, while Lucas never had to go through that. Also, Nathan is just taller, which is always an advantage in basketball, am I right? I'd also say that Nathan is better at dribbling. Lucas definitely has skill here, but there was a second during their state championship game in season 4 where he just looked really sloppy. Granted, that was probably the actor Chad Michael Murray, but still, Nathan never looked sloppy while dribbling before. But I'd say Lucas is the better shooter. Well, both are excellent shots, but there was a reason why Whitey replaced Nathan with Lucas as shooting guard. Lucas was the team's designated three-point shooter and shooter all around. He hit quite a few last-minute buzzer beaters, including the state championship game. But I'm not saying Nathan is awful at shooting. He's not. He's excellent, like I said. He can definitely hit a three-point shot if he needs to, and he even hit a free throw while not even looking. But that's the main difference between the two. Lucas is more likely to work around the defense for an outside shot, while Nathan is more likely to drive it in. There's also the fact that Lucas taught Nathan the fadeaway jump shot. Lucas is slightly better in the shooting department. He was even hitting threes while with an injured shoulder. But another thing factoring into this is their childhood. Like I said earlier, Nathan was practically bullied and more or less trained to be the best by their dad ever since he could hold a basketball, while Lucas just played for fun most of his life. So Nathan should be the much better player, but he's not. They're actually fairly even. I think this is a plus for Lucas. But then there's this. These two had 2 competitive 1v1 games during the series, with both taking wins. But both games had factors playing into them. The first game was won by Lucas. It was a close, intense, epic game that took place in the very first episode of the series. But Lucas was motivated to not only prove that he belonged on the team, but he did it for his mom after what Dan did to her all those years ago. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and interested in knowing, you should go watch the show. It's on Hulu. Anyways, moving on. Lucas also was motivated by the fact that he wanted to stick it to both Nathan and Dan and prove that he was better than Nathan. But in their second game, well, Nathan didn't just win, he dominated the entire time. A clean sweep. Lucas didn't score once. But again, there were some factors playing into it. Firstly, there was beef between them. And secondly, Lucas was a little out of shape since he basically took the summer off, apparently, while Nathan just got back from an intense summer basketball camp. There's also the fact that Lucas was taking medication for his heart condition, which slowed him down and kept him from going all out. Now, I want to shift gears a little. During the third game of their senior year, Nathan had to sit out of the game because he skipped class earlier that day, meaning it was up to Lucas to carry the team to victory. And he did. He was motivated by the fact that they were 0-2 and that his uncle just came back after months of being gone. He led the team to victory. He couldn't be stopped. He was hitting shot after shot. His teammates just kept feeding him the ball, and the defense just couldn't do anything to stop him. They couldn't. He even hit the last second dunk for the win. But this feat is countered by the fact that Nathan carried the team for a good portion of this season after Lucas spoke up about his heart condition and couldn't play anymore. He was having similar games to Lucas's game on a weekly basis. Not to mention, if it wasn't for Nathan's plan to force the other team's point guard into the dead spot to allow Lucas to steal the ball and score in the final seconds, then they would have lost that game, and Lucas's incredible effort would have been for nothing. But it's important to note that this game will be taking place at the River Court, which favors Lucas, as he said that he knows every edge, every dead spot, everything about the court, which gives him an edge when he's playing there. Which makes sense. He's practically played on that court all his life. But both of their games, single games, happen there as well, so it won't be a big factor or a factor at all for that matter. So, who would win in their third game? Who is better? Well, Lucas is the better shooter for sure, and if he had something to motivate him or if he had something to prove, then I would go with him. But the shooting department is his only real advantage, and it's a small one at that. Nathan is physically better, he's a better dribbler, and he can nearly match Lucas in the shooting department. And with the court not giving Lucas that needed edge, I can't see him winning in a third game. Nathan wins and is the better player. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos, and leave a comment of what you think and all that great stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.